Mic check. Cameraman, let me know how we sound. When we ready? Good. So you want to put it to wherever it's comfortable. So you can pull it as close as you want, and you can move it up and down. We
Think
not
I'm
just
ready.
asking you comfortable. Cool. Cool. That's it. All right. All right, everybody. Good night. Welcome in to the September Westbank Real Estate Investors Meetup. Excited about tonight's guest. So when you have to try to pinpoint people in the market that are active, people that are diversified, people that are hustlers and make the absolute most out of every hour, out of every day. I think you're describing somebody like Nizar Dahab. So he's been around the meetups a lot, so we actually got him to come to one. He had to get on stage in order for him to actually come in person. But he's definitely somebody in the community that's connected. If you're a wholesaler, if you're a realtor, if you're a contractor, I'm more than sure you've crossed paths with him before. So we want to get into his story. For the people that are just like him, that run businesses and also run their real estate business, we want to get into that, how he started, and what his plans are to scale up. So everybody, please put your hands together for Nizar Dahab. Good evening, my brother.
Good
All
evening.
right. So how did you even get started in the real estate space?
Real estate, I got started in 2006. I bought my first property in Baton Rouge. Me and a friend of mine, they had a new development. They were converting on Corporate Road, the reserve at Cedar Lodge. I don't know if anybody's familiar with those. But we went, and the property was beautiful. The price was good. So we got in. I turned that into a corporate rental at first, and then I converted it into a regular rental just because the corporate wasn't steady, and I found myself losing money.
What even attracted you to doing that first deal? Was it the peer pressure with your friend, or what brought you to say this I'm gonna try this out?
No, I always real estate always intrigued me. I read about it years ago, getting out of high school in 1997. And article I read, it was like 90% of millionaires have their hands in real estate. So that piqued my interest.
Got so you were living in Baton Rouge, or the deal was in Baton Rouge?
The deal was in Baton Rouge. I was here.
Okay, so that was 2006. What was the next deal?
Next deal, a couple years later, I bought another property in the same complex.
Okay, so still in Baton Rouge at this time.
Correct.
Yep, and this is 2006. So
2006, and then the second one I bought in 2009.
these are where you getting the properties from? Are these Katrina properties? Because we 06, 07 right now. So
No, these were on market.
okay,
It was just like a new development, and they were just putting it out there. They were giving you like 5,000 towards close, which, when you learn about real estate, you find out it's really a scam. So
talk to us about that. What you learned about that cash towards closing? That doesn't really work for investors, but it might work for marketing purposes to get people to buy it. But what you learned from that?
Well, it's a great marketing technique, honestly, because obviously it got me to buy the property. But it brings people in, but you better believe they're gonna make their money somewhere else. So, I mean, it worked out for me because it got me started into real estate. I'm not complaining about the purchase at all, but
Yeah. And that was like 5,000 towards closing. What was the five
correct.
thousand?
Yeah,
Okay.
5,000 towards your closing.
You still have these properties now?
I still do have.
Wow.
I'm trying to sell one, but I don't know. Honestly, the area is beautiful. I mean, across the street, you have $1 million homes. The former LSU coach used to live there. So I loved the area when I went. And I mean, the property has a ton of amenities. It has a swimming pool. It has a workout place. It has a theater room. It's gated. So I figured it would do nothing but appreciate. But honestly, it hasn't gone up much in value, but I'm still ahead.
Yeah. And when you first started, what other training you had other than just the drive based on what you read to get into the business? You took courses, conferences.
I didn't take anything as far as real estate wise. I was already in business myself. I was in a clothing business at the time. So I just wanted to venture out, diversify my portfolio.
Yep. So I end up in New Orleans from Baton Rouge in lovely subdivisions across from LSU coaches.
It happens. Hey, you got to go everywhere. You got to. I mean, you got to take chances sometimes too. Honestly, like I said, I love the area, but looking back at it now, the reason that I want to sell one of them is I rather keep all my investments close here, and I get cash flow more here than what I'm doing over there. I don't owe much on the properties, but over here it's more beneficial for me. The rent's higher over there. The rent hasn't gone up much. You're talking about 20 years. It hasn't gone up much.
Okay, so tell us that story. First property that was closer to home.
The first property that was closer to home is actually the one that I was living in. I bought in 2010,
Okay.
and I lived there for years. And then I moved to Mississippi for like 5 years. And then when I moved back into the property. And then when I got married, I stayed in it. But my first investment property was actually in Gretna,
Okay.
on Brett Drive.
Yep. And how did you find that one?
I actually found that a friend of mine that was in school with me, she posted it on Facebook, and I was like, I'm interested. I want to look at it ASAP. So she calls me and she tells me, when can you look at it? I said, I can look at it today if you're available. So she said, okay, let me line it up with the guy. It was a friend of hers that she knew. So I went over there, I looked at the property, and I mean, that property was probably the worst project I ever took on, but the most profitable also.
Yep. So this was just a friend of a friend of a friend. It wasn't a realtor, it wasn't a wholesaler.
Exactly.
So were you letting people know that you were looking to buy properties, or you just knew that you were looking for?
I knew I was looking. I looked for 2 years. I was just looking on market, off market. I was looking everywhere, but I was hesitant to pull the trigger. I was just like, it was kind of like fear of the unknown. So I didn't want to just leap in. So I was asking different people that were involved in real estate. I was like, look, I'm really thinking about doing this. And I did have, like, honestly, I had some great people along the way that helped me. Even some people that come to these meetings or are part of this group. It is very beneficial, honestly. And one of my good friends, I told him, I said, I want you to put your eyes on this property, because I know he was doing it for like a couple years before me.
Yeah.
So when he came and he looked at it, he met me over there a second time. He said, don't even think about it. He said, buy it. He goes,
The Gretna property?
yeah, Gretna
Okay.
property. So without hesitation, we closed like the following week. I closed on a property.
Yeah. So what was lessons learned during that project? That was your biggest renovation or square footage size?
No, it was the house was like literally had holes in the roof. The guy was still living there. I don't know how, but the place was a wreck. I gutted everything. I gutted it down to the studs, so I had to replace everything. As far as like overall work, it wasn't my biggest job. We'll get into that later. Kurt knows. Canal obviously was the biggest, but it was whenever you're taking on your first flip and you look at something like that, you could see the vision, but you just like how I'm gonna get there. So, like I said, my good friend, man, he helped me a lot. He told me get it, and then I always, even till today, like I call him to get a second set of eyes. Like, hey, I have a property. I'm thinking about doing this. What is your thoughts? He'll come over there. We'll brainstorm. He was like, "What you thinking?" And I'm telling him I might want to tear this wall down, open the kitchen up, and he'll give me his thoughts, and I'll take it into consideration because I mean he has a lot of experience as well.
Yeah. So again, that same project, you saw the vision for it. What was the plan, and did the plan work?
The plan worked to perfection. Thank God. I actually got really, really lucky. Honestly, when I bought the property and I ran the comps, the retail value on it, the appraised, it was like 249 on the property, but it took me like 8 months to do it. It had a lot of damage. It was my first project. I didn't want to make any mistakes, but it ended up selling for like 279. So it actually the market was turning at the right point in my favor. So I mean, I hit a home run on my first flip, and I was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah. So talking about timing, it ran over too long. How long did you predict for it to take, and what went wrong?
I wanted to be 6 months in and out. Honestly, it was a big project to take on, but I mean, I knew I could do it, and I had somebody else that was guiding me in a sense. Like if I had any questions, I needed any advice. He helped me with contractors if I needed it. He was like, hey, if you need this guy, I needed a garage guy. He sent me his garage guy. I still use him to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it helped me with networking. I mean, that's real important. I think in real estate. Honestly, like I do a lot of people that I work with. I like to work with them, and I give them business because I like them as a person. I might pay an extra 500, 1,000. Me and Kurt were talking about this before, but because I like the person, I know their work, I trust their work, I'm gonna give them the business than try to save 500, $1,000 because I'm gonna make my money on the back end. So
Yeah. And how would, besides using that friend that's kind of like a mentor or coach during the process, how else were you recruiting those subs? Because if this your first project, you're doing a lot of trial and error with subs that were, either superstars or
right.
horrible.
I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but it's trial and error. The guy I did have, I knew him. I knew him for a while, and I seen all of his work. He does great work, but as far as reliability, it was just I had to cut him off. Honestly, he did a great job on what he did, but he was just taking too long. That's what made the project drag along some, because he kept saying, "Oh, I'll be there next week. Oh, I'll be there the following week," and he doesn't show up. And I was like, "Look," I said, "at this point, I said if you're not showing up, finish the work." I threatened him. Honestly, I told him, I said, "I'm gonna get my attorney." I said, "If you don't finish your work," I said, "finish your work, what I paid you for." I said, "and I'm gonna move on to my own contractors." He came in there. He wasn't responding at first, but when I threatened him, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he came. He showed up the next week. He finished his work. I mean, we're still friends, no hard feelings, but it's just you got to keep your personal friendships and your business relationships separate. Honestly,
Yeah. So now you using a GC or UGC on projects?
I GC my own project.
Okay, so at
Yeah.
that time with that first project, you hired a GC and they did everything, or you still were involved?
Well, at first, I hired that first GC, but I had to fire him, obviously, because he didn't want to complete the work. He was taking on multiple jobs. He wasn't completing them. So then I GC'd my own project at that point. So I just took it. I learned on the go, and I've been doing it ever since, honestly.
Yep. So talk to us about right after. So that worked in your favor. You got
It
about
did.
20, 30 grand more than you were expecting. The next project now, did you change what you were looking for? You getting too excited and buying more and fast? What was your thought process after that home run?
Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. Real estate it's addicting. It's like you you find yourself not being able to say no. I mean, Gerald knows this. He's gotten me on a couple of projects. He's like, "Hey, what do you think?" I'm like, "I'm not interested." He'll call me 2 weeks later. How about if we can get it at this price? All right, Gerald, just close the deal.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, honestly, a couple of them fell in my lap. I mean, I got lucky. I really did along the way. They had one that it was off market. I still have it. It's on Benoit Place in Terrytown. It was off market, and me and a good friend of mine, he passed away, but we both signed on the property. And the buyers, it was a succession, so they couldn't get the last person to sign off on the property, so they gave us our money back. So the property comes available 6 months after he passes. And I honestly, I wasn't even really actively looking to purchase a property, but I was just like, okay. I said, what are you talking about price wise? So he did go up on the price, 15,000, and it was in a good area, and I wasn't tripping, but I was like, all right. I said, I'll buy this in memory of my friend because I mean he helped me a lot too,
Mm.
like from years ago. So anyway, I bought that property. I converted it. I was gonna sell it. I didn't have. I was all in for 110. So I was like, I could just rent it and make my money and start building my portfolio that way. So I rented that property, and I still had money left over from the previous project. So my neighbor at that project, he cut my grass. So I had built a relationship with him. I had him cutting a couple yards from me.
Yeah.
So he comes to me one random day. He was like, "I know the lady. She lives 3 doors down. She wants to sell the house." I said, "Well," I said, "Rich," I said, "just let me know." I said, "If she's serious," I said, "call me when she's around here and I'll come meet her." So he calls me on a random Sunday and he's like, "Hey, the lady's there. She wants to sell the house." I'll say, Okay, I'm coming. Give me 15 minutes. So I go over there. I meet with the lady. We discuss price. We agree, and I meet her in Metairie. That I give her a deposit the following day. I meet her in Metairie the following day. We got a contract, and we close the same week.
Yeah. So on the rental portfolio side, the one on in Terrytown, that was your first rental
First rental in this
in
area.
this area. Okay.
Yes,
Got it. And you still have it.
I still have it.
Yep. The underwriting your rental properties, how do you look at that now versus how you looked at it back then? Is it just this cash on cash, or are you doing net percentage? How?
No, everything. Honestly, all my property is free and clear. I don't like debt. It could be bad, but I mean, it works for a lot of people. I don't knock it. Just for me, I rather own it. I don't want to owe anybody any money. So, I mean, I buy them free and clear.
Yeah. So it's just you basically getting a return on the cash
Exactly.
that you put out. And management wise, the Baton Rouge properties and these properties, you all self manage.
Except the Baton Rouge, I have a property manager over there. It's just too far. It doesn't work for me. There's no way I could. I mean, I'm not going over there to fix a running toilet.
Yeah. So after the Gretna property, you move into a rental. You still thirsty for the next property. The next property is a flip or a rental.
It started as a rental. I had a bad experience with the tenant that was in there. She pretty much damaged, I don't know how, but every doorknob in the house, if you could imagine. So after she got out, I was just frustrated. Honestly, I said, you know what? I said, I'm selling this property. So I put it on the market. I did great with it too, as well as a flip. I made close to 100,000 on it.
Yeah.
So, and I still made the rental income them previous years. So I was good with that.
So it sounds like you stay prepared more than being lucky. Because if you broke, you can't buy it. So if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Is what it sounds like.
It's a combination of both, to be honest with you. You got to be lucky sometimes. I mean, the property I told you about my neighbor had, I mean, that's very little to do with me. I mean, I just had the funds available.
Right.
He helped me a lot. I mean, I gave him a few $100 for his effort. I mean, honestly, when you get into real estate, you find it feels like the deals fall in your lap.
Yeah. What have you learned besides that, as far as acquisitions and feeding the beast, right? Because once you get started, either you got to have something that's coming up, about to sell something, or looking to buy your next flip. So, have you developed any other strategy other than being lucky?
Yes, of course. Honestly, I've been real selective with my buys, especially like the last 3 years.
Okay.
Um, you can fall in love with a property. Honestly, some of the best deals probably are the deals you don't even make. It's just like, you know what? I dodged the bullet. I mean, I bought properties and they worked out, and I bought properties they didn't work out. So where I had to pivot, I had to turn them into a rental. But I mean, I had the luxury to do that.
Right. And let's talk to us about that, because there's people right now that's sitting on flips and refuse to turn them into rental properties, either because of the financing or they just want to get that lump sum of cash back. What is your position, or what is your opinion on when to turn a flip into a rental property? When do you make that decision?
It's a personal decision, honestly, for everybody. I don't knock anybody's strategy. Like, if you're just in it for flipping and you feel that's what you want to do, that's your strategy. And if it works for you, that's great. But I feel like you should have multiple options. So, like, oh, if it's not going to work, for me, if it's not going to work as a flip, I don't have a problem converting it into a rental. I'm gonna collect rent on it for the year. That's how I was able to build my rental portfolio. I mean, if I would have never converted to rentals, I would strictly be on flips. And if I'm stuck on one or two flips, what's bringing me money? Nothing.
Yeah, that's true. And on the property management side, what keeps you on the decision side of self-managing everything versus outsourcing like you do in Baton Rouge? Some people have the idea, hey, I can invest my time in looking at other deals and invest my time doing other things other than talking to tenants or even doing the repairs. What's your opinion on that?
It's not that I'm against it. I mean, I'm all for it, like property managers, but I just feel like most of the stuff, honestly, is simple stuff that I could do myself. So if I'm gonna pay somebody else to do it, might as well. I mean, save the 10%, whatever they're gonna charge me. They still gonna charge me a fee to send somebody out there. So it's not like it's getting done for free.
Right.
I have my own connections. I can send my guys.
And on the subcontractor side right now, so fast forward to the way you do your flips right now, you hiring GCs or you taking that lesson learned from Gretna and you still managing your own subs?
We always hiring. You got to keep them honest. I mean, look, as great as the contractors are that you're working with, you always want to shop because I mean, you want to keep them honest, make sure that you're getting a fair price for you and for them. I don't want them to work for free. I want them to get their fair market value, but I also want a good deal for me, so it has to work for both of us.
Yeah. And what's your strategy on vetting contractors, subs, and general contractors?
Honestly, I mean, look, they've, like I said, this group has been great. I mean, Nelson's been a big asset for me. I mean, I reached out to Nelson. Hey, Nelson, I need such and such guy. I got you. He'll send me the number, and the guy will come. But I mean, I also share my contacts with Nelson as well. So I mean, that's what I said. Networking is important in this business. And honestly, like, you want to work with people. I mean, you want to build relationships. It's only beneficial for you. I mean, I tried to work with Tyler, but we couldn't work out a deal. I worked with Kurt. I worked with Gerald on multiple projects.
Yeah.
I worked with you, Emil,
Yeah.
on property management. Um, I mean, I work with multiple people in a group, so networking is important. Like honestly, that's the way I keep them honest. I go to people that I trust and I ask them like, hey, what do you think about such and such? Oh, he's great at this. And I like my guys. I like my electrician to be an electrician. I don't want him to be a jack of all trades. Oh, I do electrical work, I do plumbing, I do siding, and I do fencing. That I tend to find that never works. Honestly, I want you to be what you're good at. That's what I want you hired at.
Yeah. Tell us a story about this big project that the canal monster. So you went from the Gretna at that time was your biggest, and then fast forward, you went into a space that was, next level for you, right?
Right.
So what was that story?
Man, shout out to Mo, man, but you got us on this one. No, this one honestly it was just a beast. It was more than what we thought, and sometimes you got to simplify it and look at it from a realistic point of view. So we thought we could turn it faster than what we could, and I think we could have, honestly, if we would have GC'd it ourselves. The first mistake we made is this is the first time for all of us that we went out and we said we're going to hire a general contractor. It's a big project. So we signed a deal. I think it was 275,000. Was it, Kurt? 275,000 for him to basically turnkey to do everything. So he gets on the job, demo, all of that. He already started with like some other stuff like, okay, they have termite damage in the house. We're like, okay, that's fine. We'll pay for that. That's extra. We didn't see it, even though we pointed it out to him whenever we walked the property. Like there's some termite damage in the property. We don't know the extent of it until you open the walls, obviously. So he just he wasn't reliable. He came to this meetup too, honestly, one time. And he kept giving us the runaround, and he was talking down on us like, I mean, we're some little kids, and the disrespect. First of all, honestly, I think you treat everybody with respect, especially somebody that you're working for. I mean, you don't want to burn any bridges in this business. You really don't. I mean, I try to be cordial with everybody. I don't owe anybody any money. I keep good relationships, and it comes back to you. But this guy, he would talk down to Kurt. He spoke down to me, and I told him, look, don't talk to me like that. You're not my dad. So he kept giving us the runaround on the project. I'll be there next week. I'll be there the following week. So we end up getting our own AC guy. We get our own plumbing guy. We get our own electrical guy. And I was like, what the hell we hired this guy for? He's not doing anything. Yeah. So we told him, if you're not coming to complete this project, we're firing you off this job. So finally got rid of him. We got him to complete the portion of the work that we paid him for, which we probably were shorted a little bit, but at that point, honestly, we were over it. We were ready to move on, complete the project, try to get it on market. So I mean, we put a lot more into that house than what we wanted to. The money's still sitting in it, but at least it's rented now.
How much time did you guys lose with choosing the wrong contractor? You think?
I
If you had
think
to
we
ballpark it.
lost, I say about 8 months.
Yeah, and that's just back and forth communication,
Yeah,
holidays, just wasted time, overtime.
just run around, and it's like, when you give the guy the benefit of the doubt, and he tells you, "Oh, I'll be there in 2 weeks. I'll be there in 3 weeks," and it's his work. And what most contractors hate is going over somebody else's work because they don't know where it stops at. So the electrician want to know where everything is run. The plumbing, they same thing. They want to know where everything is run, what needs to be done. He, I mean, he was getting these guys that weren't qualified to do the job. So we was just like, you know what? Why did we even hire him? We all do this. Let's just take it and finish it ourselves.
So, could you have smoked out that this guy or this contractor was not a good fit early on? Is there extra action item you guys could have did? One extra question, or just some people would just you just
I'm,
gotta take it.
I hate to say, I don't think so. Honestly, like we went to his office. He put on a good show. He put the diagrams on the on TV. We were all in agreement. It's not like any of us were like, no, don't use him.
Mhm.
But when he started the job, I did say I felt like he was in over his head.
Red flags.
Hmm.
And for the person that's on their first project, what's some actions or some things a GC might say when they won't admit that they in over their head?
Well, we seen the way he was running the plumbing, and we was just like, I mean, this looks like, I mean, kindergarten work. I mean,
His finishes or his work, his
you talking
material.
about $1 million project that we're on. So I mean, we don't want no, I mean, half-ass work. Excuse my language,
Yeah.
but I mean, we want it to be completed up to standards. I mean, anytime I do a project, I look at it as like I'm the one living there, and I don't want anything done. If it's termite damage, I'm opening up the walls until I fix everything in the house.
Yeah. Got it. And as far as teamwork on a project like that, how do you approach these types of projects with partners? Is everything in writing, or is there checkpoints to where you guys revisit certain terms? Or in partnerships, what's the best way that you learn to work with an entire team to get an entire project to the finish line?
I think the main thing, honestly, is keeping the lines of communication open. You have to, I mean, we'd have multiple meetings. Like, we pretty much were meeting every 2 weeks. We would meet up, we would discuss what needed to be done, what we could do, everybody's tasks and stuff like that. So it works, but I mean, you got to be willing to put in the work as well. I mean, Kurt does a great job with the numbers. He'll crunch all the numbers, what needs to be done. We'll make a punch list, what we need to work on and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how did that project end?
I mean, it's still up in the air. Honestly, it's rented right now, so it's working out for us. So we're debating right now if we're gonna put it back on market or if we wanna rent it for another year.
Yeah.
I came up with the idea of renting it. I don't like stuff sitting. That's just my strategy. I look at it like this: if it's sitting for a year, you lost a year worth of rental income that you could have had. So I told them, I said, let's get ahead of it. I said, we getting some traction on this property, but if we rent it and we make a decent amount of money over the course of a year, we could recoup some of our losses in that way.
Yeah. What's been some lessons learned? You've been in it since 2006. Now, what's been some takeaways on taxes? So tax time, we all know that real estate has its benefits. What's some things that either your tax person shared with you or that you got tips from networking that's been a benefit to kind of help you, reduce your tax burden?
The main thing, honestly, in my opinion, you got to keep all your paperwork in order. If you don't think you could just, oh yeah, I remember this repair. No, when you do the repair, you jot it down or you put it wherever you have an Excel spreadsheet. You therefore you can keep up with your expenses and you know what you're looking at. I personally, with my tax guy, he just takes out like quarterly, pays some of my taxes.
Yeah. Are you managing any softwares or everything is spreadsheet or just notes of paper?
The bookkeeper handles all the
Mm.
paperwork. Honestly, all my stuff is on this iPhone in the notes section.
Yeah. And you don't do real estate full time. What else are you involved in? So for the people that are working W-2, doing other things, you able to still manage this portfolio and this business. Uh, what else do you do that kind of diversifies your time where you have to build this team to keep everything going?
I mean, I'm close to full time. Honestly, I'd like to convert to full time.
Okay.
I have the retail shops,
Mhm.
so I do that. So that's what keeps me busy, other than real estate. But I don't put much time there, to be honest with
Yeah, it's back in, well, mostly in real estate. So that's good.
you.
So you're closer to full time. And so now what's the focus?
The focus is to keep building. Honestly, I try to grab 1 or 2 rentals a year, and then keep a few. If I can do 1 or 2 flips a year, I'm fine with that. It sustains me. It grows my portfolio.
And what's the difference from what you're seeing now versus 2006 as far as the market? Because everything is cycles. So is this more how you feel about the temperature of the market as far as amounts of deals or just the market itself?
The deals are there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, you can find deals everywhere, in my opinion. The market is not bad. You got to know your area. I mean, honestly, be selective on your buys and know your area. I mean, if you know this area is hot, don't even think twice about buying. I mean, the last property I bought, it was on my in-law street, um, under contract the first day.
That was a flip.
It was a flip.
Okay. Yeah. And when people talk about finding deals on the market, finding deals off the market, networking has been one of your biggest approaches. So, are you going to more meetups now, or how you doubling down on networking to try to source more deals from networking?
I don't know how they get I don't know how they get my number, but honestly, I feel like I have 10 wholesalers that text me every day. We got a deal. I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah, networking. I try to make these meetings. Honestly, it's just the timing. It doesn't work for me most of the time because it's dinner time for my kids and
Yeah.
bedtime. So yeah, networking. I mean, like I said, Gerald, he knows we did. I don't know what we did, 4 or 5 deals. Gerald. I tried to work one with Tyler. It didn't work. Ben, I don't know if Ben's in this group. I did a deal with Ben.
Mhm.
Um, Grant. I don't think Grant's in this group. But I mean, the more people you know, the more connections you know, the better. I mean, don't burn bridges with anybody. Keep the lines of communication open. Always be willing to work with them. I mean, I'm always for networking. Anybody wants to work, my line's open. If you want to work together, I'm for it.
Yeah. And you talked about the kids and evening times are tough. So, where do you draw the line, or do you draw a line with work life balance? Because being self-employed, you could be the toughest boss and not know when to stop. So from 2006 to now, how what's your approach to managing your time? Is it a cutoff, or how you
Uh,
doing that?
100%. The phone stays on. That's a must. But at a certain time, I'm home. I mean, I'm with the kids. I'm with my family. That's more important for me than any dollar I can make.
Yeah. We're gonna take questions from the audience in a little while, but right now, what's at forefront? What you looking for?
Right
What areas?
now, I'm working on a rental and I'm working on a flip. Honestly, I'm open. I always tell the wholesales, I said, send me what you have. I'm always looking. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm buying. I'm open to look at it, and if it fits my criteria, I buy it.
Yeah. Steve, we're gonna get ready for questions from the audience. And one more question. So the Baton Rouge deals, you say you have that one on the market. Anything in New Orleans, you are either flipping or holding as a rental?
Yeah, the rentals. Yeah, the two on. I have 3 on Audubon. I have 1 on Palm and the
Yeah.
1 on Canal.
Any any attraction to the furnished corporate rental space at all? Are you staying away from it?
No, I stayed away from that. I had a bad experience. Honestly, when you do the math, just my opinion,
Mhm.
just strip down the numbers and you're going to see you basically getting the same rent once you pay all the other. I was paying the light bill, I was paying the Cox bill. Then I started, I was young at the time, to be honest with you. The big number sounded like the better number.
Mhm.
But then I was just like, what am I thinking? I was like, if I take everything out, I gave everything away after paying $10,000 to furnish it. I gave it away. I just wanted it out of there,
Mhm.
and I wanted the place rented. So I took everything out. I was making the same rent. Like my net was the same thing, renting it furnished and unfurnished as a corporate rental. So I was like, never again.
Yeah. And what was that bad experience? Was it with the tenants or just cash flow problem?
It was finding tenants because not everybody, whenever they hear 1,900, 2,000 for rent for one bedroom, they automatically get turned off. For most people don't know. Okay, the Cox bill is 200, the electric bill is 100. So when you add up all the numbers, it doesn't, for them it should make sense, but it wasn't working out. So I was just losing like 4 or 5 months a year in rental income. So that didn't sit well with me. So I was like, you know what? I said, I'm getting rid of all the furniture. I said, I'm just gonna rent it.
Yeah. And as far as insurance wise, you prefer being free and clear. What are you seeing on the insurance side from '06 to now? Are you seeing agents giving you breaks on certain stuff, or quotes going down, quotes going up? What you seeing on the insurance side for far as owning property?
That's a great question, Emil. Honestly, just my opinion. If you own it free and clear, I take wind and hail off. It's just it doubles the amount on the policy for me. So I'm just like, by the time I pay the insurance, the taxes, and all the other expenses that come with it, just doesn't make sense for me. Honestly, I rather, and I know what I can fix it for. So the money that I'm saving for God knows how many years, it could be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. The amount that I'm saving, I mean, you talk about a couple $1,000s every year. I could just fix the property for that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And for the people that's not sure what you mean by win and hell, what is that, and what do I need to tell my insurance agent to get that off so I could save their money?
Just tell them, can you quote me without wind and hail?
Hmm.
I mean, obviously you need general liability, fire coverage in case you have a fire at the place. But the wind and hail, to me, and the deductibles are so high. I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous. It really doesn't make sense to have insurance. In my opinion, wind and hail, if you can get it off your policy, I take it off. I told Kurt, he took it off his policy. He saved a couple grand. I mean, it's money that goes in your pocket. And say a hurricane does hit or a tornado, whatever wind event, what are they gonna pay you? They're gonna take 5% deductible. I mean, your deductible it kicks in at $20,000. I mean, it's not worth it for me.
Yeah. And the legislation that's going around on fortified roofs, they're trying to give consumers a break on the insurance side. Of course, on market properties, buyers may get a break. Have you had experience with on market properties that had or didn't have fortified roofs with you at the seller, and what you thinking about fortified roofs moving forward on your flips?
The project I'm working on now is fortified.
Mm.
I paid the extra money. I think it'll be a incentive for the buyer. That's how we're gonna market it. It's a fortified roof, which I got the certificate. I paid extra, but I think it's a selling point.
What was the cost and difference from a regular roof
I paid
fortified?
roughly $15 a square extra. So if I do the math, $1,500, give or take.
More?
Yeah.
And what's your expectations as far as?
It gets more than that, honestly, because the material is more. You gotta tape the seams. You gotta nail it every so much distance. So altogether, honestly, more realistically, you're probably looking at $3,500 more for a roof. To me, it's worth it to try it. I mean, hey, I got a great deal on a property. I was willing to do it. The guy gave me a great price. Everybody else was coming at 140 a square. I got it done for 100 a square, fortified.
And the expectation is what for the buyer? So you put it on the market. What's your expectation if this property has a fortified roof versus it not having one?
It's an insurance benefit. I mean, ask anybody. I mean, if you call your insurance company, hey, I have a fortified roof, I have the certificate, your insurance is going to go down. That's proven. And what they're starting to do, honestly, is fortified houses. So, I mean, if you build them from the ground up, fortify the house, it's a big, big selling point.
Yeah. Before we take questions, one more thing. So now that you are running your own subs, what has been your experience with inspections? So your first deal was in Gretna, which is totally different from dealing with inspections with Orleans Parish. Have you developed a strategy, or what's your approach with GCing your own projects and getting these inspections pushed through?
What is the inspection you talking about when they come to
I'm talking about
buy?
flips. Yeah, so I'm talking
When they
about
come to
flips.
buy or from the city?
No, I'm talking about city. So
Okay.
open wall, closed wall,
Yeah, yeah.
certificate occupancy. Now knowing what you know, what's your approach?
I mean, honestly, if you do it to code, you're not gonna have any problems.
Mhm.
I mean, they can get a little anal, but I mean, if they ask for it, just do it. Get it fixed.
Yeah. Question from the audience, Steve.
For me, Orleans is real tricky. You have to know the area. I mean, the Marigny area, the Bywater area, that's really really tricky. If you're closer to the river, great. If you're in the middle, it's wishy washy. If you're on the far side of Claiborne, it's even dicier over there. I try to go to areas that I know. I mean, lately I've been on the West Bank, honestly. Last project I did was in Gretna. I didn't have no issue with that. I knew the area. This project that I bought, this last flip I purchased, it's in Gretna as well. It's in Belmead. I know the area. Everything in them areas, I know it doesn't sit long in the inventory, as long as it's done right. 3-2. 3-2, I think, is the sweet spot. One bathroom never works. It's a tough sell. If you have a half a bath, honestly, one and a half, go for it. If you have the space and you can put a half a bath in there, do it.
And that's on flips and rentals.
Both.
Yeah, that's your buy box for both. All right. Next question.
3-2s, it depends on what you can get, honestly. I mean, anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 is great. I mean, the last one I did was 17 and change, and it sold for a premium. I mean, it was done real nice, but it sold for a premium.
Question.
That's a good question. Honestly, I believe your biggest lesson is in failures, because you get spoiled with success. So you never taste defeat. So when you do taste it, it makes it much more satisfying. I mean, my situation wasn't always great. I'll be the first to admit it. I mean, I went into business in Mississippi, and I failed, and I was like on the verge of losing everything. I kid you not. Like even the properties in Baton Rouge, I had gave up. I was just like, you know what, screw it. I said I could restart. I could file for bankruptcy, but I kept pushing, and it worked out for me. I mean, honestly, you just sometimes you have to get to the pits, but when you get to the top, it feels much much better.
Good. Next question.
Correct. Labor only. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't clarify. No, 100 with material, I'm all in.
That's it on questions. All right.
So on my projects, I use all my own cash. I did have a project where I bought on an investor. It didn't work out. The Marigny area.
Okay.
That's why I tell you that area is real dicey because the ARV in that area when I purchased the property was like 450, but what we sold it at was way less. But they were anxious to sell it, honestly. And I told them, I said, just be patient. I said, the market will turn. I actually mentioned renting it because that's just my strategy. I was like, rent it for a year. The market will turn, and then, you'll make a profit at that point. They didn't want to do it. They just wanted to cut their losses. So, but yeah, all my projects I fund cash.
Good.
Well, we didn't have. Yeah, we didn't have a problem on that project because his name was on the project. So I mean, we didn't have no problem like that. No. Right. I don't have my GC license, but I have people that have a license and they'll file it for me, and I just pay a fee.
Yeah, yeah, one more.
I'd like to get it though.
Yeah, another one.
You have 50,000 and you want to get started. I would reach out. Honestly, I would network. I would try to work with somebody that has experience. I would tell them, hey, are you willing to take me out? Do you want a JV on a project? Why not? I mean, you'll learn. I mean, you'll learn from them, and it'd be profitable for you. I, won't- I suggest networking all the time. I really do. I mean, it can't hurt.
Good question. Good answer. Got time for one more.
Normally, honestly, we go 50-50 because the funds are divided 50-50. So we have an equal portion. But if I was to go to with somebody else that didn't have the funds needed, we'd have to structure it whatever way benefits both of us.
And what's been
So
some lessons learned from JVN? So we talked about learning from failure. What's some mistakes that you made with joint ventures from '06 all the way through now? Or something that you noticed that you tried to avoid?
I mean, I don't think I had any bad experiences. I had one of my friends that we did. He just didn't want to do any of the work, which is fine. But we're not gonna go 50-50 if you're not gonna do. So, I mean, everybody else I worked with, it's been a pleasant experience. I haven't had any issues.
Yeah. So that's one of the biggest takeaways. Do business with people that you know, like,
A
and
hundred
trust.
percent,
Yeah.
100%.
And how can everybody get in touch with you so we can get 40 wholesalers calling you instead of 10? What's the
I don't
best
know
way
if
to get in touch
I don't
with
have 40 wholesalers money, but they can get it.
you?
I
What's
mean,
the best way?
I'm on Facebook. I mean, you can get my cell phone. I mean, everybody that everybody that's in here that I've done business with, they have my number. Anybody else that wants it, just come up. I'll give it to you.
Well, and how you spell your name on Facebook
N
for YouTube people?
Nizar.
Mhm.
Last name is Dahab.
All right. You got one more? Yep.
That's something that has to be discussed, honestly. But I mean, I don't have a problem putting in the work. To be honest with you, I mean, I like the work. I like the transformation. That's what gives me joy in the business. Honestly, is seeing a project come from point A to point B, and seeing the final product. It's like it gives me satisfaction. That's stuff we can discuss. I'm open to it.
And you mean in the past how those do it? So I guess in the past, I
Oh,
know
in
the
the
cash,
past? Oh,
the
that's why we
cash is
have the
split
meeting.
50
Yeah,
50.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. But in the past, it's been just communication. Like, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to meet this contractor here. Can you do it? So it's always like constant communication. We basically were talking on a daily basis. Hey, I'm going over there. You need me to grab anything? Yeah, I need you to stop at Lowe's and grab this, or I need you to meet the electrician at this site. So it's constant communication. Like I said, to me, that's very important.
and this is a group text or y'all in WhatsApp? How do you put a team together and have that constant line of communication? Because keeping stuff in writing is helpful. Also, especially with firing contractors, you got to go back months and go through conversation. So what, are y'all using a certain app or just keeping all group text?
Yeah, we do. When me, Kurt, and Mindy were working together, we were working on Facebook Messenger.
Okay,
And then when we had somebody else in on a project, we got on WhatsApp.
okay, cool. Keeping the lines of communication open. Well, you gonna stick around for questions? You got time for Gatuso, or you just gonna, it's 8 o'clock, so I know the 2 kids is late for you, but.
I got time. I'm here.
Okay, all right. We gonna stick around, everybody. Put your hands together. Thank you for your time again, Nizar. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
That was good.